watching Breakfast Television at 6 o'clock on the nose on this Thursday morning. Let's not waste any time as we jump into what is rather a very busy day on the news front, and a major shakeup at the legislature leading the way today. After weeks of being under fire and just 894 days as leader, Alison Redford is stepping down as Premier of Alberta.
Quite simply, I am not prepared to allow party and caucus infighting to get in the way of building a better future for our province and for all Albertans. And that is why I am announcing today that with a profound optimism for Alberta's future, I am resigning as Premier of Alberta, effective this Sunday evening.
Redford has been struggling to deal with unrest within her party, and 2 departures from her caucus. Her lavish travel expenses and leadership style have been scrutinized for weeks, and adding fuel to the fire, dismal approval ratings. A poll released Wednesday by Think HQ shows her popularity is on a steep decline since the expense scandal surfaced. A high watermark of 58% approval in August of 2012 dipped to 35% in January and just 18% this past week. At 29 months, her tenure as Premier is the second shortest in Alberta history. Caucus members are meeting today to pick a new interim leader, after which the race begins to replace Redford. Redford's last day as Premier is Sunday. Now, the historic announcement sent shockwaves across the political landscape. The broad spectrum of reaction almost instantaneously on everything from the decision to the Premier herself. Tanera McLean joins us now live with the legislature on what those people are saying. Tanera?
Hi there, Courtney. So Redford obviously has been taking a lot of barbs and a lot of criticism from Albertans as a whole, and even from within her own party. But the opposition are all united, and they say really the problem is not Redford, it is within the PC party itself.
What we've witnessed during her short 29 months as Premier is the clearest indication yet that the PC party simply can't be fixed. The problems with their party and their government run far too deep for one leader to change.
This issue was not about Premier Redford. It's about the PC party desperately trying to cling to power, doing anything it can, and in an all-out civil war with one another. That's the problem.
We've always said that it's not the individual holding the Premier's office that we think is the problem. It's a political party that's been in office for 42, 43 years.
So Redford becomes the Progressive Conservatives' third Premier in a row to essentially be ousted from within the party before the end of their term. She was in office for a mere 2.5 years. The average tenure for a Premier in Alberta is nearly 8 years. It was just in 2011 when former Premier Ed Stelmach announced that he too would be resigning after months of upset and criticism. Redford is known to be a strong-minded individual, and she did not go out yesterday without asserting her own take on her leadership.
I love Alberta. I am honored to represent Alberta as your Premier. And I've given my heart and my soul to this province every single minute of the day for the last 2.5 years.
So we know that Redford's resignation is effective as of Sunday. However, what we don't know is when a new leader will be put in place. Deputy Premier Dave Hancock is the Deputy Premier, but caucus will be meeting this morning to either pick an interim leader or to set the terms for that leader. As far as the PC party policies go, a next leader must be selected no less than 4 months, but they have no more than 6 months to select that leader, Courtney.
All right, and of course, we'll be checking back in with you, Tanera, as you talk to some of the opposition members later on this morning. That is Tanera McLean live at the legislature today. Now, Redford isn't even out the door. The announcement taking place just 12 hours ago, yet speculation already running rampant as to a possible replacement. And one name generating plenty of buzz is rather well known to Edmontonians.
What you need is somebody who can, as leader, unite people across those differences and divisions, and that's probably going to be easier to do if it's somebody who comes in from the outside, somebody who's got their own profile, their own political capital, if you like, to bring the potential, if you like, to boost the party, to bring them back up in the polls. And so some people have put forward the name of Stephen Mandel, former mayor of Edmonton.
What they indicated.
Political science professor Lori Williams also believes that Minister Fred Horn and Labour Minister Thomas Lukaszuk may want the top job, but she's not sure that someone like Lukaszuk, who she describes as being polarizing, would be the best choice for the party. The process to pick a new leader officially begins Monday when party brass meets in Red Deer to discuss just when a leadership vote will take place. Well, on to our other top story this morning, a dramatic development in one of our city's most infamous murder cases. Charges have been stayed against Travis Vader, the man accused of killing St. Albert seniors Lyle and Marie McCann. It was on June 3rd, 4 years ago, the McCanns left their house in St. Albert in their motorhome. 2 days later, that vehicle found burnt out near Edson. Their bodies never discovered. Vader was arrested in June 2010 on separate counts before formally being charged with first-degree murder in May of 2012. Wednesday's hearing was supposed to be a pretrial motion regarding publication bans. Instead, with just minutes to go before the hearing, a Crown attorney informed Vader's lawyer that the charges had been stayed.
I've worked on this man's case now for a number of months, and my professional assessment is that there was not now, and there never was, a realistic or serious chance of any conviction.
Baresh also chastised the RCMP for what he called shoddy evidence gathering. The Crown had no comments. However, a justice spokesperson says new evidence forced the stay of the charges can be revisited within the next year. And as you see, the McCann family issuing a statement following these turn of events saying that this isn't over. Quote, though we see this as a delay in our search for justice, our family remains confident that the ongoing investigation will lead to a conclusion in this matter. The family is still offering $60,000 reward for any information to help them find justice in that case. And a busy day at the law courts. A man convicted in a deadly swarming on White Avenue has been sentenced to 5 years in prison. Cliff DeCoin-Zanuga was found guilty of manslaughter in the death of 20-year-old Dylan McGillis. The 26-year-old was part of a group that attacked and stabbed McGillis in 2006. A judge determined the accused punched and stomped McGillis when he was on the ground, but that he didn't deliver the deadly blow. The family says it's some comfort, but we're still holding out for more justice. DeCoin-Zanuga, the only one so far to have been charged in the case. Well, overseas, it may be the biggest lead yet in the search for missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Australian maritime officials say 2 objects have been spotted by satellite imagery bobbing around in the Indian Ocean southwest of Perth. They say one of the objects is 25 meters in size, which experts say could be part of the plane's wing or even the tail. So far, 2 planes have flown over the area, but they haven't found anything as weather conditions are making visibility limited. The satellite photo in question is also said to be 4 days old.